with a crowd back near the goal line. Van Dyke up in the air, all the way to the goal line. Restrepo has him, but he swung down at the 5.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys College Football Podcast featuring us, the Online Sports Guys, as Marty waves around the Online Sports Guys, the football jersey.
Epic.
When's mine coming?
Yeah, really? Well, Festivus is coming around the corner.
I'll give you my Venmo after we're done recording.
There you go.
Or I'll just send you the link of the one I ordered.
There you go.
Yeah, that worked too.
All right.
Guys, another busy week in the world of college football, and a week where we thought there were going to be a lot of cupcake games. We ended up with some stuff that was actually kind of interesting. First, we might as well get this part out of the way. News of the week. Michigan's like,
Hercules.
Yeah, we'll take our penalty. Coach Harbaugh won't coach the 3 games. And
Monday it was, we want due process. And then Wednesday it was, hold on, I need to Google Discovery.
Yeah.
Shout out to Uncle T. I feel bad for Blake Corm. His LLC happened to be dismissed. They dissolved his LLC the same day that an assistant coach who didn't know the depth of any of the allegations, but felt to delete a lot of things off a computer, was also let go. And a prominent multimillionaire alumni was removed from their NIL thing all the same day. It is just weird.
What is this about uncles and programs in trouble? I mean, it's
for those that don't know,
it's Nevin and T. I mean, it's all about the uncles, man. If you got uncle programs, don't have uncles associated with your program.
Now, personally, I'm a funkle. I'm the fun uncle for nieces and nephews on both sides of our family.
I'm glad you clarified.
I did too.
But but like my financial benefit to them is usually going to CC's or getting something like that. Hey, let's go to McDonald's and not tell your parents because they don't like eating that stuff.
Marty, as a Ohio State guy, are you relishing this?
Well, at this
Especially
point,
Michigan week.
are you relishing it or are you laughing?
I'm laughing because the delusion of the fan base, and this is beyond football. It's disgusting. Like, if they want to leave the Big Ten, fine. I'm ready to wash my hands of them. It's just ridiculous. To be that delusional about, okay, let's see. The exact same time that this supposedly started, we gave our head coach a pay cut because we're angry at him. Immediately after him taking a lot less money, there's a turnaround, and the start date is the same as the allegations of cheating. Just play straight up, and if you're going to cheat, just keep quiet about it like the SEC does. Don't sit there on a high horse and say that, we are the beacon of and bastion of just like everything is right in college sports.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying, and it's only cheating if you get caught.
This coming from a guy who bleeds scarlet and gray.
Yes. Tressel got in trouble for lying to NCAA. We self-imposed and we took our lumps.
There is nobody in the
no wine.
Without sin.
Usually the wine for Michigan is during fundraisers. We have wine and cheese, but now it's just whining online, whining on Sports Center, whining everywhere, and crying.
Well, you know my feelings on this. I just really don't care. But
like Signals, Wilkie doesn't care.
What I was, you may get, I don't know if you guys will find this interesting, but I'm watching some of the pregame stuff on Fox before the Maryland game.
My apologies.
It's all about the us against the world mentality. Now Michigan
stole
Michigan
that too.
Football is going with, and then I was thinking, this is the football version of the Fab Five. Mm-hmm. They had the same attitude at Michigan 30 years ago with the men's basketball team.
Wait, is that a well-established pattern?
It must be. I mean, it's
not like Harbaugh punched a coach. Oh
no,
that's our current basketball. Sorry. Different scandal.
A Fab Five guy as well.
I'm
Juwan Howard.
He's consistent. He's not a bad coach. Exactly. He's not a bad person. He's consistent.
It's consistent, yeah. But I mean, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm seeing the football version of the Fab Five at Michigan. You talked about patterns, Marty, with Michigan. Well, I think we've got a pattern.
There's more than one investigation going on. They're being investigated by the NCAA, the Big
It's
Ten.
not going to go anywhere.
They're also being investigated by the FBI.
That could be a problem.
And I'm hearing a lot of stuff of gambling implications in those games that are suspect.
Wow.
And that might be the root of like how a lot of this started.
And when Elliot Ness comes knocking on your door, it's the last person you need.
Yes, and I'm going to sum all this up with a mashup of cliches here.
Uh-oh.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't in the top 25.
Yeah.
But I was just laughing at. I was schadenfreude watching their game, hoping for them to mess up just so I could laugh. And they were actually holding up flags to block their sideline.
Yes. I saw that. It was crazy.
We're going to block Spider Cam by holding up a Michigan banner. Child, please.
Do you think they went to like some local Ann Arbor mall and found some Michigan logoed signs and just
absolutely?
No, most Michigan fans get their stuff at Walmart, but I haven't seen or heard anything that tone deaf since my nephew was about 3 years old trying to sing Jingle Bells for the first time. Sorry, Lofa.
Oh man!
Hail to the victors.
Hard to change the subject here.
I did like the new helmet stickers that are all asterisks on the side of the Michigan helmet. And I want to congratulate them on 1,000 wins, and I look forward to them celebrating it again after they get their a lot of vacated wins following the season.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That's congrats.
Good practice.
That's congrat singular, which is the insincere form of congratulations.
Congrat. It's a
boy.
Congrat.
Let's go.
This is what happens when you fire up a TOSU guy. Absolutely.
Woo. And I had 3 cups of coffee before the podcast.
TOSU cruised this week because they played Minnesota. They win 37-3, and that cue is going to get us into some game action this week. We're the closest game of the week. Yes, it involved the team we just talked about for the first 5 minutes of the show, Michigan. They beat Maryland 31-24 in College Park, but they really had a tough time doing it. Maryland put up a good fight.
That's because Maryland's a pretty good football team. Don't discount the Terps on this because they've had a really good year and they've got a great quarterback. I expected a tough game. It's their second one on the road. I'm interested to see though. I know you guys are going to talk about later about the games, but all this emotion that Michigan is feeling. Does it begin to wear them down for Ohio State?
Find out.
That's what I'm interested in.
We're going to find out after everybody finishes eating their Thanksgiving leftovers because we're on that big week, which we'll talk about in the second half of the show when we look ahead for rivalry week in college football. Another close game out in the Pac-12/12/8/ whatever number you want to use. Washington gets the win in Corvallis, Oregon, beating Oregon State 22-20 in a pretty tight, hard-fought game in a steady rain.
Nice. That's football weather.
Yeah. I mean, but these are the kind of games, if you're Washington and you're trying to get into that Final Four, these are the games that you have to win on the road, difficult environment. Oregon State came in ranked number 11 in the CFP, so 2 ranked teams, you figured it was going to be a street fight, figured it was going to be a close one there at Reeser, and you got what you got, and Michael Penix continues to justify any kind of nomination for New York City.
God, could you imagine if the numbers he'd have if he was at a real program his entire career?
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Good on that kid. That was impressive. And I want to say congratulations to the remaining members of the Pac-2. Congrats on winning ownership of your conference. I want you guys to do some funny stuff with being able to steer the rest of the season. If they just decide that the 2 of them are playing for the Pac-12 championship, I'll lose my mind.
That'd be great. Or the merger happens with the Mountain West. Make sure you get the most out of the Tupac. That's all.
I've heard that they're going to have a agreement with the Mountain West. That nothing's signed yet, but they have a scheduling agreement.
Yes.
An agreement not to poach, and a future merger groundwork is being laid. That's all conjecture, but it's coming from a lot of good places.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I was really pulling for Oregon State in this game because I think Jonathan Smith has done a great job in Corvallis.
He's done a fantastic job in Corvallis. Yes. He has, most certainly.
They've won really well.
You bumbling bucket of boats? What are you doing?
And I thought it all set it up for Oregon State to get a big win over Washington. Even the weather coming in, but again, Michael Penix Jr. is just that special of a quarterback, and Washington's pretty darn good too.
Oregon State tried to use communist weather machine to try to help for victory. It did not work.
We'll talk about the big dog in the room, pun intended. Georgia with an easy win. They just ground Tennessee into a pulp with a 30-10 win in a game where Tennessee scored on the very first play of the game, 75-yard touchdown run.
And then
that was it.
3 more points.
Yeah, the 2 highlights for Tennessee, that and Dolly Parton singing Rocky Top.
Yes, absolutely.
Georgia didn't do anything super flashy. They just methodically pounded them into the ground.
Yeah, look, this entire season is focused on 3 games. SEC championship, semifinal, final. Everything builds to those 3 games. They work on everything up until that point. This was
that's when their season starts.
Yeah, exactly right. And right now, this is we're working on our problems, we're working on ourselves, and we covered, BFD. We're moving on.
They look better.
Wait till you see the plays you haven't seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not flashy, just good. They win.
And just to point out for the people that follow us, my sister-in-law's dog called that game correctly.
Yeah.
Good job, Coco.
That's true.
Yeah.
John, your Florida State Seminoles could have an interesting last week.
Don't look at the video.
Do not.
No,
don't look at the video, and I know that you just did.
Yeah,
by us telling you that you're not supposed to look at the Jordan Travis video, we know that in a separate window or after the show is over, you're going to go look at the video. Don't do it.
Well, at least don't have breakfast first.
True.
Or lunch or whenever you're
just don't watch
this video.
And do not be surprised if this injury, really takes Florida State out of the top 4. I mean, you will have been undefeated, but you're going in with a number 2 quarterback. I know that Tate Rodemaker threw for 217 when he came off the bench, but it was against North Alabama team that had an early lead in this game, as a matter of fact. But do you, if you are television programmer,
Alabama was up 14-0 after 1 quarter, and they lost the last 3 quarters by a combined score of 58-0.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a television programmer and you have 2 episodes leading into a 3rd episode of a television show called the CFP, do you include Florida State in that process? Right now, I would say no, because of the injury. Yes, I know you're undefeated. Yeah, you're probably going to run the table, all that, blah, 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 blah. But if you're a television programmer and you're trying to do, as Vincent K. McMahon Jr. says, what is best for business is what is best for business, including an undefeated Florida State team with a backup quarterback or somebody else from another conference, probably from Tuscaloosa. Just saying.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I don't know. I see Saban wearing his Star Wars Emperor hood, just sitting there rubbing his hands together. It's all going according to plan.
If Alabama beats Auburn, which should happen, and then beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, then we might have this conversation. It's more along the lines of Georgia kind of going in backwards, but getting in. But Florida State really,
which would happen.
There's no SEC bias.
None.
You're talking about picking between Florida State, Washington, and Oregon right now for that last spot.
And I would go to either Washington or Oregon. I mean,
so would I.
Yeah, seriously. If you have
if Bo Nix wins the Heisman.
Yeah, I mean,
if you go straight up talking about a national draw, do you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Is Washington or Oregon a bigger national draw than Florida State? A good Florida State team.
You would have
he pulls the Heisman. It is.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you have Michael
And-
Penix and Bo Nix, who probably are both going to New York City.
Everybody loves a Cinderella story. He leaves a
Bo
crappy
Nix is
team.
30 years old.
Doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
mean, he's the name.
Didn't they have a 40-year-old for Georgia playing quarterback at the last championship game?
Nobody on Florida State is going to move the needle. Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. will move the needle because of just their individual performances this year. They've been the talk of college football. Mm-hmm. And if there's an avenue for getting both Washington and Oregon in the college football playoff, plus you add to the fact that the Pac-12 is dissolving, what better story would you want?
Yeah,
sports and drama, baby. Oh, great draw.
Absolutely. And Florida State, with the injury to Jordan Travis, regrettably is not that, even if they run the table.
Going to have an interesting argument when that comes down, and just
keep arguing, because we're still going to have the argument. I guarantee it.
The other teams with a shot at getting in, Oregon, of course, we talked about them. They won easily over Arizona State. Texas with a little bit of a struggle against Iowa State, 26-16. They get the win.
Kicks will do that.
And Texas beat Alabama early in the season. Alabama won a scrimmage game with Chattanooga, 66-10. I'm not sure why that ever count.
Bowl eligibility, rules change, rules shift.
And Bama just wanted to be on football on a budget segment.
There you go.
And Chattanooga just funded the program.
Basically, yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chattanooga went into the game at 7-3. They're one of the top teams in the SoCon, and I think they have an outside shot of making it. If they don't, win the SoCon, making it into the 1AA postseason. Yes, I just dated myself with that reference.
That's today at 12:30 on ESPN.
Selection show.
Absolutely. So
go Youngstown State.
Yeah, no kidding. Other shoulder. There you go. Thank you.
No, that's that is a helmet, and that is a commemorative plate.
There you go. Because we all need commemorative plates.
I always root for the Missouri Valley representative. So.
Oh, how was Brookings, South Dakota?
It was lovely in November.
I still got to Venmo you some money.
Too bad Missouri State lost by 3 touchdowns, but hey.
Yes, can't be Missouri, the Missouri Tigers in the top 10 for the first time in a very, very long time.
Thicker kicker chomp, baby. Thicker kicker chomp.
I love that when he kicked the winning field goal. I tell you, just the moxie Mizzou in that game was impressive. Coming back on that final drive, converting that 4th and 17 to set up Harrison Mevis.
It was an awful defensive display by Florida. Come on now.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go with the moxie of the Mizzou Tigers.
Display of my business.
Oh, God. It was so bad.
But let me ask you this. How hot is Billy Napier's seat right now?
Nuclear.
I don't know if it's nuclear yet. It'll be nuclear if they lose to Florida State.
3 Mile Island, baby.
It shouldn't be that hot, because part of the problem that Florida and all those schools on that level have is you keep churning new coaches in, and each result ends up the same way.
Hey, money will solve the problem. See, in Texas. It's just no. You think that firing a coach and bringing in another coach is going to fix the problem?
Wait, are we talking about A&M?
That's what I'm saying. Florida.
Yeah, insert mid-level SEC program here.
Yeah, so no, Florida's going to panic Wilkie, and that's just how it's going to be. They're going to bring in somebody else, and they're going to regress another 2 years because of the cycles that they create.
Buy.
Uh-huh.
Sell.
They're looking for the next Spurrier or the next Urban Meyer, and those 2 coaches prove that their systems worked in Florida and nobody else's does. It's hard to win there, which puzzles me.
Connor Stallions, he's a results guy.
Well, and so are the Duke brothers, and that's the Duke brothers are probably running things in Gainesville right now.
Yeah, speaking of coaching,
get back in there and sell. That's what you're.
Speaking of interesting coaching decisions, Miami Cristobal again.
Oh yeah.
They lost to Louisville at the end of the game, in a game Miami had a chance to actually pull out at the very end, but Louisville gets the 38-31 to win and
I
clinches
want to know about Miami
the
pulling out.
spot. The reason I say that is because Miami went to the Hail Mary pass at the end of the game, which they completed. However, the guy who caught the ball for them was tackled on the 5.
Well, and congrats to Louisville for making it to the ACC title game. I don't think any of us would have predicted that at the beginning of the year. And Jeff Brom has got to win some form of Coach of the Year this year because of what he's done in his first year with Louisville, which a program that was really on the ropes. And hometown kid comes back and puts them in a title game.
Now, for those of our viewers and listeners that aren't as familiar with football pass patterns, a Hail Mary is usually best completed when it ends in the end zone.
In the end zone, yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're the Falcons and it's Dwight Shoes Johnson at the 2 and Brad Nessler's yelling, give it to him, and they do.
Another game of note, not in the top 25, but a team that got knocked from the ranks of the undefeated James Madison goes down to Appalachian State, 26-23.
Bye-bye.
Wow. They took 2 losses this week.
Yeah, it's true.
One on the football field.
Well, this is kind of App State's mantra is to do something unusual and great at the same time. And taking down JMU is kind of still the pattern of App State in doing such things. But, I wonder how much that decision affected James Madison going into that game. And of course, it's tough to win in Boone, North Carolina.
Did you guys see the play in overtime that was the deciding touchdown? Ooh. App State scored, but when you talk about barely scoring, we're talking about maybe the length of a toe.
And then fumbling it as you're going into the end zone. Mm-hmm. Lucky that you did not have a goal line camera at that time, because all you get is stuff from the end zone. And you see the ball cross over the goal line, you think, and then the fumble happens. And so after review, the call stands. And this is what happens when you yell at the sun. You'll look. Jacksonville State, James Madison, Tarleton State, all are bowl eligible as of right now. Projections lean to not enough bowl eligible teams that are not having to pay attention to written pieces of paper. So James Madison and Jacksonville State probably will get into bowl games anyway, just because there aren't enough bowl eligible teams. I think there's 82 slots. I don't think that you're going to have 82 bowl eligible teams, but
everyone gets a trophy.
Everyone gets a trophy. James Madison can tell the Attorney General of the state of Virginia to go back to work, or at least sit behind a desk and sign things. He's not needed anymore.
I would really like to see the 2 of them play each other in a bowl game.
That would be kind of cool.
Oh, James Madison and Jacksonville State? Yeah.
Yes.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'm looking. I've got a fridge magnet that has all the bowl games and their dates, and I'm thinking Pop-Tart Bowl might be the one.
Wait, there's a Pop-Tart Bowl?
Yeah,
there is now.
There is now.
Yeah, new sponsor.
That would be the perfect one.
Speaking of Pop-Tarts, got to bring up this game, John. I'm sorry. I know the commander-in-chief is not going to be happy about it. But
but look, all right, so you're going to bring up Auburn and New Mexico State. Hugh Freeze, in his post-game press conference, basically doesn't know how this happened. Well, I'll tell you how it happened.
They played a better team.
So, first off, you put up a big number against Arkansas. Sorry, Wilkie. You're coming off of that high.
All right.
You're heading into a rivalry game next week against Alabama. So you're in that sandwich slot anyway. You're bringing into town one of the best group of 5 quarterbacks in this country in Diego Pavia. I mean, 6'1", great system quarterback under Jerry Kill. Jerry Kill had the perfect game plan slotted on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively against Auburn, they dared Peyton Thorne to throw. They wanted to stop the run first. Peyton Thorne once again proves he is not an SEC quarterback. 27 yards rushing for Jarquez Hunter in this game. They had more punt yards than they did offensive yards until the junk drive late in the fourth quarter. It was the perfect game plan, and New Mexico State had 38 minutes of possession. So basically 2-to-1 possession time against Auburn. You want to know how it happened, Hugh Freeze? You got beat by a better team, and you didn't game plan properly. You don't have an SEC quality quarterback. The second time that he looks at a second target, he tucks and runs. If you're going to do that, you may as well start your second string quarterback. Your true passing quarterback is your third string quarterback that has been sitting on the bench the entire season. So congratulations. You lost to New Mexico State. You paid them $1.86 million to come in and kick your can all over campus.
I just think it shows what a great coach Jerry Kill is.
That
and
too.
if it wasn't for health issues, just where he would be up in the coaching pantheon, because he's taking a program, a football program that was flatline. Let's call a horse a horse. Applied the paddles to him, and now they got a dominant win over an SEC team on the road. I mean,
that bookstore has to be selling Killing It T-shirts with his face on it.
Absolutely.
And he's got a face.
I'm gonna go trademark that before we post this episode.
Please do.
Absolutely. You got beat by a better team, and you got out game planned by Jerry Kill, Hugh Freeze. Congratulations.
That to me was one of the easier calls on the board.
It was a 28-point number. What are you doing? That's the biggest line mistake this season. That was the easiest call on the board. 20.
And when's Auburn going to fire Hugh Freeze? That's what they do.
I just want to know, did Patty break anything in the house?
She was breaking things inside the stadium.
Do you have a cast on somewhere?
No. I would know. She agreed with our assessment going in that New Mexico State, we were all waiting to see if Diego Pavia was actually going to start because of the hamstring injury that he got against Western Kentucky. And if it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be Eli Stowers. But what they did is in RPO situations, they had Stowers move from the X receiver to that quarterback position in the shotgun, and Pavia would just go to the sidelines. It wasn't hard to figure out what they were going to do. Stowers moves to Wildcat. Oh, they're going to RPO, and they still couldn't stop it. Duh.
I think John needs another cup of coffee, Marty.
Yeah, there's a lot of yelling.
I mean, just everybody sitting there going, oh, New Mexico State, how'd they do it? They were better. End of story. Period. Paragraph. Bang. Commercial break.
This rant brought to you by Decaffeinated Coffee.
I mean, damn.
Here's a question for you. Did you guys know, am I the only one that didn't know that Liberty is undefeated this season?
Yeah, no, they're undefeated.
No, they're undefeated.
How many are left? 5?
Sounds right.
They're 11-0 after beating that
Yeah,
49-25. The biggest point total of the week, however, goes to Arkansas State, who beat Texas State 77-31.
Yeah, you can throw out the records when Texas State and Arkansas State play, right?
Texas.
What was the under over on that one?
Probably, really. And
Juice box heaven.
yeah, and Texas State is still bowl eligible out there.
Yeah.
They both are now.
Of all the transfer portal teams, they're the one that's real that it finally paid off on a bowl game.
And Butch Jones is still the head coach at Arkansas State.
They started off awful this season, but
Yep.
they made
Yes, they did.
True. They absolutely did.
Best team in Arkansas right now.
Not wrong.
And how
Sorry,
sad.
Loki.
No comment.
I'll wrap up with one last game here before we move on to halftime and in the second half of the show.
Uh-huh.
How sad is it to be Caleb Williams coming off a Heisman Trophy winning season, potential #1 draft pick in the NFL draft, thinking you're going to come back for your senior season and get into the college football playoff, only to find that you've lost your last 3 games, including losing to UCLA in the crosstown rivalry, 38-20.
Insert prices.
He didn't do himself any favors skipping the post-game press conference.
No.
No.
And we probably saw him. We probably saw the last time in a USC uniform. In my judgment. I mean, there's no sense. He's going to be the probably the #1 pick in the draft. Strike while the iron's hot and move on. But there's some issues going on at Southern Cal now. They're going to get talent. They're getting ready to go into the Big Ten. Marty, you're a Big Ten guy. You know you got to have some kind of defense to win in that league. So they're going to have to really change how they do things as far as defensively at Southern Cal. So they're at a crossroads this early in Lincoln Riley's tenure.
I also find it fascinating that there was a lot of talk that Chip Kelly was going to get fired from UCLA no matter what happened in this game.
Yeah, what was the saying that with these two teams at the beginning of the year, somebody was going to get fired and somebody was going to be a 7-win team?
It's true.
Both of these things may end up being true before it's all said and
I gotta
done.
be honest, and I'm not the only person that's saying this, but the wrong coach is on the hot seat for that matchup.
Yes.
True.
USC needs to go buy the best defensive coordinator they can find.
Do they have an uncle?
Well, since the Uncle T has been disowned, he might be looking for a new team to back.
He may not be an uncle, but I heard, doesn't Mr. T live out in Los Angeles?
I'm sure he does.
Oh, Syracuse is set to fire Dino Babers.
I'm just waiting for my uncle. I ordered a Uncle T t-shirt that says "I pity the rules."
Nice.
Well, speaking of coaches, I got to tip my hat to Barry Odom at UNLV. They defeated Air Force yesterday to put themselves in a position to win the Mountain West. Where's UNLV been in the past 10 years? Great job by Barry Odom there at UNLV. They win in Colorado Springs. And that's, again, a guy that should win some kind of National College Coach of the Year award for what he's done there in Vegas.
And with that being said, we are running out of time here in the first block of the show. When we come back in the second half of the show, we'll look ahead at Rivalry Week, and we get to find out who's going to be playing in conference championship games and who's not. That plus everybody's favorite segment, college football on a budget. All that and more when we return for the second half of the review. You're listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe.
Over here in the OSG Sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the college football review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with two O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports. Do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. You have made it to the second half of the show. And this is the part of the show where we talk about the games coming up in the upcoming week. In this case, Thanksgiving weekend, where games are being played all week long. Although, really, college football kind of does go all week long most of the season now. It's like
all week long. All right. Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Although we get a lot more games on Saturday than normal. But we'll get into that in just a second. A couple of rivalry games here that could determine the fate of several different teams in several different conferences and probably the playoff. The biggest one, of course, being the one we talked about quite a bit in the first part of the show. Ohio State.
What game would that be?
Ohio State making a trip up to Ann Arbor.
Which game is that you're referring to?
I'm starting to debate. I think that Michigan versus the Rules may be the biggest rivalry.
Second biggest rivalry, Ohio State taking the trip up the highway to go see the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor at the Big House. In case you're wondering, for a mere $468, you too could go see that game.
And sit in the corner. I clicked on that seat price just out of curiosity, and it's in the corner.
Michigan's a 5.5 as we're talking right now.
Oh, I love that.
This is
I just want to see what I wish I could have heard the phone call that Ohio State had with TCU asking how they did stuff to confuse Michigan with knowing that they've scouted them a couple games for this year already.
Yeah.
I look at this game as a toss-up, to be honest with you.
Look, if I'm getting 5.5, I'm taking TOSU. I'm sorry.
Both teams are basically mirror images of each other, quite honestly. Decent on offense, pretty good on defense, and combined, they're good enough to beat just about everybody else they played.
But I know I'm a homer, but Michigan's offense has changed significantly with departures on the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
The allowed points per game has gone up.
You mean the defense?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should have wrote all this down. Their defense is giving up more points, giving up more yards. Yeah. I was going to do like a Michigan passing highlight montage, but all I could find was Lord of the Rings, not your pass. They're not letting him throw the ball. I don't know if that is some gamesmanship coming up or the fact that they did that kid a disservice by cheating and not helping him learn how to read a defense properly.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. I mean, we found out a little bit with Maryland and the week before that at Penn State. I mean, good Lord.
College football coaches.
I threw as many passes in that second half as he did.
Yeah, but he didn't have to.
He didn't have to, or he couldn't.
College football coaches are notorious for holding back until they really need to put some.
There are more passes on the Riverwalk from guys in their 20s on a Friday night than we see in that.
That could be true for any game.
The two things I think are going to be the difference in this game. One, Ohio State has Marvin Harrison Jr., and the other is Michigan doesn't.
The big thing here is the tackle play on both sides of the ball. They were, since I'll just say their recent games, they've been having a lot of trouble on the outside. And part of the reason why they've been going to the run is loading up the largest guy on the sideline, not doing anything to stand next to the tackles to stop the onslaught from coming. If Michigan gets behind early, it could get ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm taking, if I'm getting 5.5, I'm taking 5.5. That's easy.
Yeah. For this to be a close game, noon kickoff on Fox. Some other matchups of note here, of course, the Alabama-Auburn game. I do not expect that game to be particularly close, especially what happened this past week.
No, I think the boss is going to play the guess the final score game probably halfway through the second quarter.
Other rivalry games, Kentucky at Louisville, the Battle of Kentucky.
Sneaky. Sneaky. Kentucky, I mean, Kentucky's at 6-5. We know they're bowl eligible. Get in price at $116. Could Louisville be caught looking at a title game? And that could be something that would benefit Kentucky in this. I think Louisville right now, Louisville's a 4.5. I think that is about right. I think Louisville does cover. I think, though, that this game is going to be a lot closer than people think when you see a 10-1 and a 6-5.
And we've got, of course,
so you're calling a rivalry trap game.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
We've got the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving night, the Battle of Mississippi, Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Ole Miss will win that one going away.
Interim coach versus Lane Kiffin. Right now, Ole Miss is a 13.5-point favorite. That one could get ugly. Not quite football on a budget at Davis Wade and Stark Vegas, but get in price at $23.
And the big game on Friday night, 8:30 kickoff Eastern time.
Friday.
Oregon State travels to their arch rival in the Battle of Oregon. $147 get in price.
Eesh.
Yeah, that should be an interesting game.
I ain't touching it. It's going to be a great watch. Oregon's an 11.5, and I think that if you're going to continue to try to run up a Bo Nix rush to New York City to see if he can lift a rather large trophy, then he's going to have to try to put up a big number. I don't know if Oregon State's going to allow that. I'm thinking maybe 2 scores. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think Oregon covers that 11.5, but barely.
I can't even call this one because there's already bad feelings when teams aren't leaving the conference, and it's even worse now. So,
I mean, think about Bo Nix's numbers going into this game: 3,539 total yards passing, and your TD to interception ratio, 35-2.
Yeah,
2 picks.
Making up for the inverse numbers that he had at Auburn back in the early.
It's amazing what happens when you actually have coaches who know what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm talking about when he was at Auburn back in 2012. And
it's amazing what happens when you have coaches who know what they're doing.
Yeah, and also that was 11 years ago. Not to say that Bo Nix is old.
How old is he?
We'll move on here.
Set yourself up for that one in the match game and you couldn't follow through. I see how this works.
Yes. Some other games of note: the Battle of Arizona. I cannot say enough good things about what Jed Fish has done with the Arizona Wildcats.
No doubt.
They have played fantastic football this season. They're 7 or 8-3 going into their Battle of Arizona against Arizona State, a game they should win pretty handily. The question becomes, how long is he at Arizona, and who's going to go fishing for the fish again?
Oh, no.
Yes. No. Thank you very much.
Get in price at $37 in Tempe. Arizona's 8-3, 6-2 in the Tupac. I mean, Arizona State's the inverse, and that's why your director of athletics, Ray Anderson, is wandering away, among other things. So,
some other issues there too.
Yeah, but no, I mean, no line currently on this one. But, I mean, Arizona, I think, early on should be taking care of business here. And I think whatever the margin is, I'm fairly confident that Arizona will cover.
Got an interesting matchup in a game that you wouldn't really think about too much.
Oh?
Jacksonville State and New Mexico State in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Ooh. That is low-key group of 5. That is Go 5 sexy. That's what that is.
I mean, like that.
I mean, when is that game?
That's 4:00 Saturday afternoon in Las Cruces. Get in price of $19. So it's bordering football on a budget. Jacksonville State
getting to Las Cruces.
True. You fly into El Paso or Albuquerque.
Don't take a wrong turn.
No. Jack State at 8-3, 6-1 in Conference USA. New Mexico State got the waiver, and they're playing a 13th game, so they'll end up with like a 15-game schedule. 9-3, they'll play this one to get to 13. They're playing in the Conference USA title game, get you to 14. Play a bowl game, get you to 15. So who says you can't play a 15-game schedule in college football? That is sneaky. That's a sneaky good game if you can find a way to get to Las Cruces. With Jacksonville State, they're going to be in a bowl. And it's amazing what happens when you don't get your attorney general involved. Jacksonville State will get into a bowl game. They're quietly doing their thing. They'll get into a bowl game, but this one, that's sneaky good. That's a sneaky good game.
Jacksonville State wins that. They're both going to be 9 wins, 4 losses.
9 wins, 3 losses.
9-3. If Jack State wins, they go to 9-3. New Mexico State, if they lose, they go to
9-4.
It's still both.
So look up the Conference USA standings and see if they're going to play again.
I mean, that's sneaky. That would be my low-key Go 5 game of the week if you can find a way at 4:00 on Saturday afternoon. And the fact it's on the plus, that makes it even more must-see.
And here's my rivalry game. My alma mater, Georgia Southern, traveling up to the mountains of North Carolina to take on Appalachian State. Watched a little bit of Southern playing Old Doberman this past weekend, and it was not good. Really, really not good. And App State coming off a huge win over James Madison.
That
Ah.
right there.
See, that game just gets me angry. Those are both teams that Youngstown State have played for national championships. They both made the climb up to Division 1A,
And have been
and we didn't follow.
have had some moderate success making the jump.
Yeah, Georgia Southern Bowl eligible. You'll probably end up going either to the Cure or the Camellia or something like that, and then App State 7-4. So, I mean, they're both going. Just a matter of where they're going. Probably somebody's going to Mobile, somebody's going to Montgomery, and
Hey, might see him in Frisco.
Yeah, there you go.
You never know.
That's, I mean, get in price at Kid Brewer is $100.
Yeah, not an easy game to get in. Speaking of prices to get in games, guys, I think it's time to go to everybody's favorite college football segment.
Woo! Let me take a long draw on my water.
On a budget.
We need like game show music or something here.
I know.
All right. So
Exactly.
So the concept for those of you who might be watching the show for the first time, what we like to do every single week is we wish upon you to broaden your horizons. Go to places you've never been. Go see teams you've never seen. If your team's not playing, go help out local economies and things like that. But what we want you to do is use college football as the fulcrum. And we find games that you can go into, get in price $9 or less, and Marty, once we present our evidence, yields a cup with Jim Tressel wearing a vest, because getting into these football games would be about the same price as that soda once filled in that cup. So here we go with football on a budget.
Sweater that Jim Tressel is wearing.
True. Here's your football on a budget for week 13. Starting early, Tuesday. You want to know where Waldo Stadium is? It's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's where Waldo is.
You're supposed to, dude, that was a perfect setup for a Where's Waldo joke.
Absolutely. $6 get in price. Bowling Green in Western Michigan, 7:00 on the U.
I'm in just because I want to see the only team in Michigan that isn't being investigated by NCAA in some form or fashion.
Well, I thought you were going to say you wanted to actually find out where's Waldo.
No, we went to the other Central Michigan where they're trying to find out where's Stallion. Apparently, nobody's been able to walk down to practice yet and look around on the sideline and said, "Oh, that guy's not here. Maybe he wasn't one of our coaching staff people." But apparently, that takes 3 weeks or longer to find out.
Yeah.
How can you ever go wrong with a directional Michigan school, of which there's like 27?
Yes, absolutely. Friday. So Black Friday yields football on a budget, and you're probably going to need it because you will have been shopping and getting all of your gifts for the Festivus season. So what do you do if you have some time off and you actually still have some money left over? You can go to the link in Philadelphia, noon kick, Memphis at Temple, get in price, $5.
I'm in just because the teams have inverse records.
Okay.
Plus, I am a real American, much like Hulk Hogan, and I'm going to support the American football. You look at $5, that is cheaper than taking a tour of that NFL stadium. So save yourself some money. Go there. It'll probably be the only time you go into that stadium without hearing a ton of cussing. I don't know if anybody's been there, but
there might not be a ton of folks there, so you wouldn't have.
This is true.
And I have been there.
I ran an end zone camera in that stadium, and I heard some unbelievable things. And when I turned around to see who was saying these unbelievable things, it was a father and son. And I will not give you the age of that kid because that was just unbelievable. I should have called an agency somewhere because the stuff that they were yelling at Warren Sapp to tell you how long ago was just unbelievable.
Also,
never change, Philly. Never change.
Yep, I got food on the sidelines.
Oh yeah,
there.
Go to the game, get a cheesesteak.
Because I was wearing a jacket for the with the logo of the TV station I was working for at the time, which is based in Atlanta.
Oh.
They see the Atlanta and you get booed instantaneously.
Oh,
yep.
How could you get booed being part of the clear leader?
Hey,
It's
Uh,
across all three of us, Bear.
Yes, absolutely. Also at noon Eastern in Akron, Ohio at InfoCision Stadium, which sounds like a really bad eye surgery. Ohio at Akron, get in price, $9.
Go Bobcats. I'm in.
All right.
I just missed the Rubber Bowl.
Excuse me?
That was the old stadium in Akron that I believe is torn down now.
Yes. Also, 3:30 on ABC Monday. It is another return visit.
Oh my God, that's our game. Oh,
Okay, that is our football on a budget game of the week.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. How do you have a top 25 team that is they're 10-1, undefeated in their conference at $3?
So this is where Marty goes once again to Yulman Stadium in New Orleans, buys half a dozen tickets for $18 to go see Texas San Antonio and the new head coach of Texas A&M go play the 24th ranked team in the CFP. 3:30 on ABC, Yulman Stadium, $3. Marty,
Even though we had a ban on UTSA, this is in at the correct stadium in New Orleans, so we are going to go there. But I might have to buy maybe 24 tickets and then do a bunch of cardboard cutouts of Connor Stallions holding up a cell phone and recording sidelines.
there you go.
Just for the fun of it.
pretty sure for the price of one ticket to the Ohio State Michigan game, you could buy an entire section of bleachers.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you could buy the end zone.
Yeah. Seriously.
You're going to see that. You're going to see the All-State net, and then you're going to see my wife and I going.
Yeah. Legitimately, you want that late game there. I mean, seriously, you're looking at noon kick on the big one, on the big board, $468. You could get 156 tickets to Tulane hosting Texas San Antonio for the same price of getting one ticket to Ohio State and Michigan. So we've just done the math for you. There you go.
Yeah, nobody's cheating in this game either. So,
All right.
It's rivalry week. I'm going to talk all kinds of smack.
Yes, absolutely. So you've got that game on Black Friday. Then we go to Saturday. We bypassed, obviously, we told folks to get in price for Ohio State and Michigan. Next stop, FBC Mortgage Stadium on the campus of the University of Central Florida. Noon kick, FS1, Houston at UCF. Get in price, $6.
I'm in. Just because Daniel Tosh graduated from there and he's finally doing a show again on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm going to support the Knights.
Yeah, I have to go for that one just because it's because I grew up not too far from there, and it's always a good time to be able to go back to the old hometown area.
All right, noon.
And wait. And if you're a fan of Central Florida, check out the Riff Tracks version of the movie Miami Connection.
Okay.
Filmed on their campus.
Okay. There you go. Also from the MAC, it is MACtion at noon on the Plus. Northern Illinois at Kent State from one of our favorite names in Kent, Ohio, Dick's Stadium, DIX. It has nothing to do with the sporting goods company. Get in price, $9.
How can you say no to Saturday MACtion? It's a rarity. It's a unicorn.
I thought you were going to say, how can you say no to Dick's?
I can.
Also on the board.
Do we have
John, are you turning red?
Do we have to believe that?
Nope.
Also on the board.
Our friends at Spreaker will tell us if we do.
Yes. Might put up the explicit rating. All right. 2:00 on the CW, where the play-by-play booth might be in a different place from the actual stage. 2:00 on the CW.
Get a SAT truck. Stop using live view.
Wake and Syracuse, apparently Syracuse without Dino Babers. 2:00, JMA Wireless Dome. Maybe that's what they used to get their signal out, is JMA Wireless. Get in price, $5. Nope.
I'm going to have to say no, even though Syracuse bowl eligibility hangs in the balance on this one.
Yes, that is true. They've got to win to get to 6-6.
The idea of going to Syracuse at the end of November just doesn't sound that appealing.
Nope. Also, 2:00 on the Plus. Tulsa at East Carolina at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium in Greenville, North Carolina. Get in price $7. Nope, that's a no. Got to find a way to get to Greenville first. Also, 2:00 in the Fun Belt on the plus. Georgia State at Old Doberman from SB Ballard Stadium in Norfolk, Virginia. Get in price $6.
I'm in. You got bowl eligibility on the line.
Mm-hmm. And it's a place we've never been this year. We've never been to Norfolk.
That is true.
Ooh.
Also, 3:00 on the plus. More Fun Belt.
You already know my answer.
Western Kentucky at Florida International. Ricardo Silva Stadium, home of the Miami FC, in Boca Raton technically is their address, but it's listed as Miami, Florida. And get in price for the Chiggers and FIU, $7.
I'm in.
I think you're like right within a couple of miles of the
Western Kentucky is officially one of my secondary teams.
Absolutely.
And
Now,
I'm Boca Raton at the end of November.
I know.
I would actually pay full price for Western Kentucky.
Okay. We got a couple left here for football on a budget for week 13. This next one, I'm just going to speed read past it because there's no way in hell I think any of us would go to this one. And we probably would take the under, and it still would, and that would be the only value of this game. 3:30 on the B1G network. Northwestern at Illinois Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. Get in price $3. Thanks for dropping by. All right.
Haha. No.
Hey, before you run away,
Yeah.
Western wins this game. They're bowl eligible.
Stop scaring people.
David Braun inherits a team that was a mess before the season started, with the scandal going on there and the firing of Pat Fitzgerald. They could end up in a bowl game. That's good for them.
For them, nope. Yeah, nope.
Just like the bowl game they'll play in. Don't care.
Much like shingles. All right. So, no, 3:30. Now this one has intrigue. First off, it's a stadium I don't think we've been to this year. 3:30 CBS Sports Network. Liberty, can they run the table? They are at Texas El Paso, Sun Bowl, El Paso, Texas. Get in price $5.
I'm in. I'm in for the drama. I'm in for the price.
Down in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Yes, thank you, Marty Robbins. And then two more.
Steve Martin's version of that was much better.
Yes. FS1 back into the doubleheader. West Virginia and Baylor at McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. 7:00 FS1. Get in price $3. No.
Wow.
I would say no, but because it's $3 and because I can hit Buc-ee's on the way and get a 3-meat sandwich, do yourself a favor and get that sandwich. I'll go.
All right.
I'm thinking just because we're talking about this game well in advance of the actual game. I'm thinking if you wait it out, they might actually pay you to go to this game.
So
you can stop at the Magnolia and get some Christmas presents, get some candles, get some fine pottery for Christmas presents. Yeah, go to the game.
All right, last
a ticket, you might get paid to receive a ticket.
Exactly. So the last game in Division I, it is 7:30 on the U at the Pirate Ship in Tampa. Charlotte at South Florida. Get in price $6. Marty's thinking.
I'm gonna say no. I've already seen the Pirate Ship this year.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. There's South Florida's better. Charlotte is Charlotte.
I like supporting the American Conference. They're headquartered not too far from where I live, but I can't get excited for this game.
Okay.
Not even bowl eligibility on the line. Oh yeah, and wait, South Florida could go to a bowl, but much like the bowl they would get to, not gonna watch.
Don't care. And so that is another go round of football. Budget.
Wait. You forgot about the money exchange rate for being in Hawaii.
Oh, the late game. Okay.
Yes. The 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock my time. I don't even know what time in Honolulu.
So it would be correct 4 for you.
the last game of the of Rivalry week, even though it's not really a rivalry game. I'm definitely going to take Hawaii just
$20.
because.
$20. Colorado State and Hawaii on the Big Island at Clarence TC Ching. $20.
You got to go to that stadium before they move it again because it is a mobile stadium.
Yes. Yeah, it is modular, as they say. So that is another go round of football on a budget for week 13. That's where we go.
It's crazy. It is just crazy.
Phil, what else is on your mind before we get out of here?
Don't have much. I mean, we've covered just about everything. It's the best time of the year, rivalry week. Always the week to look forward to, because even though we didn't talk about all of the rivalry games, usually most of them are pretty darn good, and it's a good week and weekend to watch college football. So make sure you get out there, go see a game, if not on a budget, in front of your television. It's worth every minute of it.
Yes. Don't forget at the Superdome, Southern Grambling.
Ooh.
The winner of that game is bowl eligible, and that game is worth going to. They don't have a price listed just yet, or at least where we're looking at it. But that halftime show, I guarantee you, is going to be awesome.
And also, you've got 1AA Division II, Division III playoffs as well, starting this weekend as well. So if you're into playoff football, then check out the lower divisions there as well.
12:30 on Sunday, they will announce the pairings.
Sweet.
Go Penguins.
I think it's time to wrap things up, guys. What do you say?
Wrap it up. Have a good holiday, y'all.
Enjoy the turkey. Don't let the turkey enjoy you. Stay tuned during the week. We'll have some a variety of shorts to keep you entertained, including some things.
Not bragging, but my sister-in-law's dog did pick games correctly.
Yeah, Rowdy picked Arizona correctly over Utah.
I really liked that. Rowdy kind of went to the corner, looked at you and said, "You want me to what?"
Yes.
And then went in.
He's like, "You want me to pick this game?"
Now, I want to assure people, I've read the comments. There are some allegations of food not being in both bowls.
Oh, that's fun.
I deny this. This is simply not true.
No, I mean, legitimately, I had the same amount of food on each plate for our selection, and that's how we decided to do it.
And there's no truth to the rumor that you were on the other side spying to see what the signals were to get the dog to come to that particular bowl.
Correct.
It could actually be seen in the video.
Yeah,
in the background. Along with my wife, she was not doing it, and the camera was up against a fence, so there was no cheating involved whatsoever. If there are games that you want us, well, actually not us, because we don't do that good, but if you want our successful dogs to pick, let us know in the comments.
What he said.
All right.
Get us out of here, Phil.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate your time and your willingness to put up with our bad jokes and everything else that we do over the course of the hour. For OSG Nelson, for Brother Marty, I am Brother Phil. We are the online sports guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will catch you again next week.
Please like and subscribe and visit onlinesportsguys.com.